All right, we're on. I haven't done this in a long time.
I know.
Oh wait, it's asking for my password. So we're using the computer so it can be more organized this time.
Yeah, try to keep us on track.
How's it going?
It's going.
Haven't seen you all day.
No, that's a lie.
I've been with you all day.
You've been with me all day.
Right before this, we were just like, oh, and now we're like, hey.
Hey. So I was like excited to do this because we haven't done it in a while, or we tried to do it and we had failed attempts.
Yeah, and I've been out of social media for almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Feels liberating.
Yeah, I've taken the weekends off because it's too much.
I like the pink. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day. Okay, so today we are talking about Mother's Day and mental health. And we're going to start using our laptop because one thing that we've noticed, or that I've noticed, is that we go on tangents or get scattered and we're not as organized. So we're going to start doing a little bit more structure because we do want to like talk about things.
Yes.
So without further ado,
Motherhood and mental health.
I thought I was hearing a bird and that's Ellie snoring.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to go through this. Obviously, there's some sections that are, you guys can't see this, but there's some sections that are me, some sections that are you. We kind of divided we did some research. A lot of this for me, obviously, I'm not a mom. If you guys didn't know, I identify as a male.
What?
My body parts are of a male. So I am not a female, and I don't know what it feels like to be a mother. I need to open this, but I don't know what to do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. But for the last, I would say about 8 years. No, actually, I would say 12 years because I've worked with mothers prior to graduating.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with mothers. I've always have worked with mothers. I have never not worked with mothers.
Yeah.
And like when I mean mothers, I mean like either pregnancy. I've always had somebody in my caseload that's pregnant, that's about to have a kid, that just had a kid, or someone that it's a parent of a toddler. I've never not had it.
Yeah. A mother in some stage.
Yeah, a mother in some stage, or somebody trying to be a mother, or yeah, obviously, I say that because a lot of women are mothers, but meaning it's a point of conversation in the sessions as well, right? Like that we talk about motherhood.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I want to bring up as far as like motherhood and mental health is that depression doesn't actually start, or what we understand as postpartum depression doesn't actually start after the baby is born, right? We can notice, or I have noticed clinically, women be depressed or very anxious prior to delivering the baby. And statistically speaking, roughly 1 in 5, I sound like a commercial, 1 in 5 women experience prenatal mood disorders. In other words, there is either some diagnosable presentation, or, they're just really bummed out, for lack of a better word. And there is, a lot of heaviness. Not all pregnancies are planned, and not all relationships are healthy. And it's not always circumstantial either, right? There's also other situations that happen that create the depression. I know a lot of people talk about like chemical imbalance, which is not real. There's no such thing necessarily as chemical imbalance. Unless low levels of serotonin or low levels of dopamine, if you consider that. But as we understand it in science, there's not like an imbalance. I might be that might be like splitting hairs and unnecessary to say, but I just kind of push back on that term. But yeah, on that term. There's predispositions and there's presentations and stuff like that. But anyway, nonetheless, and one of the big things that we really try to understand is individuals' knowledge of depression, especially if they're going into pregnancy and about to become mothers. And what does it mean? Sometimes they have to get off of their medication, whether it's bipolar medication, depression, anxiety medication, because the pregnancy cannot support medication at the same time that they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with side effects, right? At this instant, I have in my caseload a mother that had to get off her stimulants. She has ADHD, or presents ADHD, and she's feeling the dip in dopamine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because stimulants such as Adderall or Ritalin or Vyvanse are going to release dopamine, which is a kind of like that feel good feeling, right?
Yeah.
And getting off of that stimulant is going to have a side effect. And she's feeling it, and we're working through it and helping. And funny enough, her husband is in the medical field, so he knows what's going on as well. He's not naive to it. So working through it and really understanding what this presentation is, and getting a little bit ahead of the depression, right, which is an important factor. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, how was your experience with the bummers?
Um, I wouldn't say that I had too many bummer moments. I think my presentation is more uh, anger and lash. Like I would get mad. Yeah, you may not have seen it, but yeah, I would get mad at silly things at myself. I mean, I don't outwardly show that I was mad, but in my head, like I was mad. Like I'd do something stupid and I'd be like pissed at myself, or like you would say something and I'd be pissed at you. Um,
Never found out about it.
yeah, but that's that's me though. I'm more internal than
Mm.
external, because like I also like knew that it was silly that I was getting mad, but like my reaction would be like pissed. Um, and then like I would have moments of like sad, but I didn't really relate them to like depression. It would just be like, oh, I'd see people on social media and they have like support and community, and I didn't have that, so that would like bum me out.
Mm. Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
That's part of yeah, that's a big that's why is this going to sleep? That's kind of annoying. It's a big part. Well, I guess we just touch it so we don't
Yeah.
figure it out while we're recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's a difficult part, and we'll touch on that. So put a pin on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That was the biggest like sad moments for me, is I would see like other people and be like, well, I don't have that. Like that sucks. Or especially like in the final trimester of both the kids, my algorithm obviously picked up that I was getting close to the end, and it was like, oh, I invited all my friends over, and instead of doing a baby shower, we did a meal prep night, and everybody like brought over a meal, and I was like, well, I don't have friends to have a baby shower or a meals prep night. Like
mm,
I was like, we're alone here, I don't have anybody. And
mm,
then even over in Colorado, we were even further. So, you
mm,
know, my mom threw us the baby shower in New York, but
mm.
it was, you know, it's different.
Yeah, it's different when it's like family and not like, oh, your best friend threw you a baby shower, surprise baby shower, and like that didn't happen to us.
Yeah,
We don't really have that.
yeah,
Um, I think we talked about this before, right? Like, I do want to, like, I say this out loud because like I don't want to. I mean, if you're saying it with that tone, is where I'm not going. I don't want to go there. Like, oh, like
hmm
woe is us. Like a
yeah,
lot of it is by design. Like we didn't stay
exactly
in our
though, and
hometown.
but nonetheless, I had those down moments.
Sure, sure,
Yeah, where it's
sure.
like you're seeing like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, and it's like, well, we've created it, so we don't have that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, did we fuck up? Did we
Mm,
do something wrong? And especially when your hormones are Um, your hormones are like all over the place. He's up. I'm gonna have to grab him. Oh, maybe. Yeah, your hormones are all over the place, so you don't really, 1 minute you feel one way, the next you feel another. Yeah, I'm gonna grab him. Okay.
So the ones that are, you can tell the ones that
Mhm.
are pink are yours.
Yeah. What's the next one?
That's you.
Yeah. I'm asking. We're on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, we're back. I'll edit the gap.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So, bounce back culture, lying to you. Um, I think this is a big topic as well. A lot of social media, has this like, oh, it only took me 4 months to get back here. We don't really talk about like why that's potentially unrealistic for all moms and all women. There's lots of things that are happening with the body, and especially like if you're breastfeeding, like you're I was told like, oh, if you breastfeed, the weight's just gonna melt right off, like it's just you're gonna lose weight. That didn't happen to me. Yeah, I gained weight. um
That's interesting because you lost weight in the pregnancy.
uh-huh.
With Ellie, Ellie, you didn't necessarily lose weight, but you didn't like gain a lot of weight
Mm-hmm.
until the end.
Yeah.
You gain weight is after.
Yeah.
Like same thing with this pregnancy. Like, you gain weight is after.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I honestly just think it's like a. I mean, not I don't know the science behind it, but it just kind of feels like it's a. Oh, your body is storing more
Mm-hmm.
because you have to feed a baby.
Yeah.
Um, and because you have to have enough, like literally just enough energy for you. This is how my mind puts it: like enough energy for you and enough energy for him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're gonna hang on to it to make sure that
You have
if
enough.
you have a low day, we got you.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then there's the other aspects of it, like you're not getting good quality sleep,
yeah,
which is gonna spike your cortisol,
mm,
and you know, low quality sleep, fat stores, they're all
mm,
connected. So like it may be harder. I mean, you're waking up uh, at least every 2 hours in the very 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 early stages of it. Maybe by 6 months, your kid's sleeping like 4 hours a night, if you're lucky, and eventually, So I think they say it's like 2 years postpartum is when your hormones start like leveling off and becoming like normal again, especially like
mm.
if you're breastfeeding. Um, uh, but I lost track of my thought.
Yeah. Um, another really important point on just not only the bounce back, but on understanding that not all women are actually depressed. I think that one of the common misconceptions is that a lot of women just go through postpartum and it's kind of normal.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that most women don't go. I mean, I don't the numbers. I don't actually have the numbers of how many women, and I don't know how much the data is actually accurate because a lot of women don't go to therapy or won't report it.
Mm-hmm.
Will mask it. So it doesn't really matter. A lot of women go through it. A lot of women don't. And in my experience, that all women go through depression.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I've noticed quite a bit is that some women can get pretty neurotic and anxious.
Yeah.
Um, I've had some clients that have bought like the heart monitor, like that is constantly checking the heart rate of the baby, the breathing. So it's like there is a preoccupation, we would say clinically, on the baby's health, right? And some people can like praise some of that and like validate a lot of the like the over fixation on the baby.
Mm.
Um, when in reality is anxiety,
Yeah.
right?
I
And
also think it creates anxiety too.
what creates anxiety?
Like those monitors and things like that. Like, I don't, you already have anxiety postpartum. Like, I remember with Ellie,
Mm.
like, I'd put her down and I'd be like, you know, waking up every couple minutes to check if she was breathing. So if she had like, well, because we looked into one of those like little sock things
Mm.
that like monitored her all night.
Yeah, well, the reason I knew about it was because there was a client of mine that had just had a baby and had it.
Yeah.
Well, she's the one that told me, and I was like,
I feel like that would like feed into my anxiety
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. It would propel it more.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
would it would definitely create um, more of a damn. I have these plants like right in my head. Yeah, it creates more of a reinforcer that you have to constantly be checking and constantly be looking. And there's deviations of this of the babies, right? Like sometimes their heart rate might go down, and it's just it might be just a normal aspect of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but an over monitoring of their health, I think one of the biggest concepts that I kind of put in my head, and I see this as some of my clients, is like some kids are born like I mean right now like in Gaza,
Mm.
right? Like the situation in Gaza is pretty terrible, and there's like some places don't have running water. There's no electricity. There's I mean I don't know if the bombs are still going off, but there's bombs, and they don't have enough medicine. They don't have incubators. Like, and babies are still being born, and some babies will thrive. Not I don't know if thrive is the right word, but will survive that.
Yeah.
Same thing in the Ukraine, right? And babies have been born in closets, or babies have been born everywhere, and we forget how resilient like humans can be.
Yeah.
um so having like good healthy or attempting to have healthy thought process and balancing yourself out is important. But to my point, I think the important thing is to really understand that you don't have to just look out for depression. Like you also should understand the literature or the presentation of your anxiety, especially if you had anxious presentation prior to even getting pregnant or trying to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were someone that was attempting to have a kid and had difficulties like we did to have children,
Yeah.
you can like that can then transfer into the parenting cycle, and then it can create attachment issues, or it can create a preoccupation and health issues that can not only affect you but could also affect your children, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I think just to bounce off a little bit is there is baby blues and depression, and they like we've talked to that about that in the doctor's office is like you can feel sad and you can have like moments of down, but there's another level of that, and that's like the depression, the
Yeah, yeah,
postpartum
yeah,
depression.
yeah. I mean, the depression will be more clinical and diagnosable, and it goes deeper than just feeling sad or like getting like a dip in your hormones. Like
Mm-hmm.
it'll be constant.
Yeah. Yes. And then we got being tired as a mom.
Mm.
Uh, it's not just from having a baby.
He's awake.
You in it? He hates being covered.
You got anything to say, Luca? No. Get that mic out of my face.
Are you up?
He might fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh, excuse you. I had some guests.
You gonna be part of the podcast or what?
We used to be. Now we try to do it when you're sleeping. But someone's
And
going
this is why
through.
moms are
Yeah,
tired.
why am I tired? Because my baby wakes up. My baby wakes up at 12 o'clock at night. And we have, I mean, just going to trying to get him to go to sleep today was,
Mm.
the past 3 nights. He's got, we think, the teeth coming in. You can't eat it. I know you want to eat everything right now. Oh, okay.
I can't cut everything, so
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, this kind of goes off what we were talking before about the fragmented sleep. You're waking up every couple hours, and
the mic.
thank you. And then on top of that, you're postpartum. You're dealing with the hormonal changes and hormonal shifts. You're still, like I said before, it's about 2 years before everything gets like back to normal, and it's just constantly shifting. And then if you are a woman who experiences their period postpartum, I know breastfeeding, some women don't get it back right away, or they'll get it the whole time that they are breastfeeding, but those shifts of your period is also going to like affect your sleep and your tiredness, and now you're in a phase of, just before your period where you're already tired, you're already down, and then you're waking up because you have baby and they're not sleeping well, and it's a lot on yourself. And rest, I feel like I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. Rest is not something you earn. Rest is, you have to take the rest. So whenever you can, you're finding that time to sleep if you can sleep. But I know sleep when the baby sleeps is such, we hear it and we roll our eyes at it, but if, if you can rest when the baby rests, it really does make a difference. I know there's a million other things that you feel like you could be doing, but your rest is important, and it's going to help with how you're feeling, how you handle baby, how you recover, and take it.
Yeah, yeah, and on what you were talking about before in regards to like us being alone and moving around, um, obviously because today's Mother's Day, one of the biggest things that that comes to mind to me, and that I've noticed, obviously, and mostly is more prevalent in my community, is individuals with no support system because either they're immigrants from another country or they were originally, in Florida. Not a lot of people are from there. Well, at least when I was growing up, a lot of people were transplants. You don't have a community, right? You don't have the support system. He fell asleep again.
Exactly.
You don't have a support system. You don't have a community. You end up doing things on your own, and that's very, very difficult. That's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like, and some people, you know, it's like the circumstances that you fall into because of the bigger goals, right? So, for example, with us, we didn't move out of our states or our places because we disliked our family or because we had an issue with them, but because we wanted, specifically in my career, wanted to grow, right?
Yeah, we saw opportunities and tried to take them.
Yeah, which is a very common thing here in the United States. Other countries don't have it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, some countries do it, but not. I don't think they do it. It's not as prevalent as the United States, where like there's a lot of reshuffling after you're
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes grandparents, and that's become more common. Our parents didn't do it, but grandparents will move to wherever their kids are, especially if they have kids, um, and that becomes a great support, right? Which I just don't think it's as common anymore, where grandparents are like as helpful.
Yeah.
Um, but that's okay. Uh, you have to adapt and kind of figure it out. But it can be intense. It can be difficult,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of the pressure can fall into whoever the caregiver is. And in most cases, not in all, obviously, but in most cases, is the mother, especially if it's a breastfeeding child and the dynamics of the relationship are just that the husband becomes a breadwinner for that time period and the wife stays at home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, we talk from our experience because that's our experience. But
Yeah.
in in some relationships, the mother goes back to work in 3 months
Yeah.
or in 6 weeks and has to put the kid in daycare, which that's a whole different beast. But
Mm-hmm.
again, to the point is that there can be a lack of support during that time, and that transfers for years like that. That getting through that um, those difficult times and in general, like with not like for example, like if this really hurts you of being alone and not really having a support system to lean on, that can follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can follow you throughout the years of maybe some resentment or loneliness or depression, right?
Yeah.
That can intensify. Um, so it's important to not stay quiet about it, and it's important for you to like recognize that if you need help and you find yourself being a mother that is alone because your husband is spending a lot of time working, or your partner, it doesn't have to be a husband, your partner or your whoever is helping you um, is not really present. You know, there are resources out there that can help, right? And trying to tap into your community if possible, or even if the community is outside of your physical community.
Yeah. Yeah. Finding a community where you can.
Mm.
Yeah. We got, which I didn't know there was a word for this, matricense.
Mm.
Um, the development transition into motherhood.
Mm.
And I was reading that the hormonal shifts that you go through during pregnancy is the quickest hormonal shift a woman can, you basically go through like puberty, but puberty takes years, where this is only 9 months. Like the amount of change in the hormones, and it literally rewires your brain, makes you
Mm.
more empathetic and more nurturing,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and we'll talk about that, I guess, in Father's Day if we do a Father's Day special.
Yeah.
Same thing happens to men. Although I'm hacking the system because I'm not supposed to be with my levels of testosterone.
Mm.
So testosterone drops a lot when you have a kid as a
Oh,
male, because you're supposed to be more nurturing and caring and
okay. Makes sense.
empathetic,
Yeah.
which is like it's interesting. I wonder if that's why I can potentially get a little bit more irritated with Luca
And I wonder if that's why my testosterone level has dropped.
because mine's higher.
No, because of this transition to
Oh, I
motherhood.
just know about the male. I don't know about the
No, I
female.
know, but that just
Maybe.
what you were just saying,
Yeah,
that it
maybe.
drops for men, and
We can
since
look
I
into it
normally
later.
have high,
Yeah.
maybe that's why I came back normal. Maybe
Yeah.
that's helped me. Oh, that's
Yeah, your
interesting.
testosterone for men. I don't know
Yeah,
women,
yeah,
but
yeah.
for men, your testosterone drops. I guess so you don't eat your babies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I want to eat Luca.
He's so cute.
No, not because of that. Because I'm hungry. I need protein. Some veal parmesan.
Look at our little belly.
Yeah, he's getting big.
Yeah, it's getting big. Um, yeah, maybe you can. What exactly is gray matter in your brain?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know either.
No,
I always see like it changes the gray matter, but I don't
no, I don't. I
necessarily
don't.
know.
I mean, I took a neuroscience class, and that was a long time ago, and it's actually one of the only classes that I took. I got a C in college. It was a really difficult. It was a really difficult class. I don't actually know what. I mean, I'm assuming you're looking it up
I
now.
am, yeah.
I don't know exactly what gray matter is. I just know it's not white matter or black matter. It's something in between gray, something in between black and white.
Gray matter is a major component of the central nervous system, consisting mainly of neuronal cell bodies, dendrites, and glial cells. I probably didn't say any of those correctly. Which acts as the brain processing center. It's responsible for the higher level functions, including memory, emotions, speech, decision making, and self control. It's the outer wrinkle layer of the brain.
Mm.
Mm.
I wonder what like head trauma does to gray matter. Anyway, I don't get that down
I
that
think it
rabbit hole.
depends on where
Mm.
the brain, because like you can hit the back of your head and lose
No,
some.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course, yeah,
you know.
I'm aware of that, but still,
Oh,
nonetheless,
sorry.
nonetheless, like I wonder what it does to it.
Mm.
Again, back to the we're not really supposed to be raising our kids alone, which is interesting because like it's been happening now for a few years as our culture kind of shifts. Yeah, um, the loneliness can happen, right? And one of the biggest things is attempting to help if you are in a dynamic of two individuals. I have this conversation a lot with fathers is right when the baby is born. Again, depending on the dynamics you have in the relationship, this is appropriate for some people and not appropriate for others. But if you are able to support the mother and understand that she doesn't have to necessarily do everything herself, she can then regulate. And if she regulates, then the kids are able to regulate, right? When especially when I was working with children and there's very dysregulated 2 1-year-old kids, I found it somewhat unnecessary to work with a child. You would have to work with the mother,
Mother.
and then I would work with the father as well. And this is how I became a couples therapist because I kept I'm not gonna work with a kid. Like I don't need to work with the kid. Like the child is the smoke, not the fire,
Yeah.
right? And when you're alone and there isn't a community to help you, it just all the responsibilities fall on you, right? There isn't grandma or auntie or whoever that's there to help you. So working as a team, having more collaboration, a better communication, the right expectations, because sometimes I feel like one partner can have expectations of the other one that are unsaid and not verbalized, and then resentment grows. So being able to work through a lot of that can help you alleviate a lot of the loneliness and a lot of the negative feelings that come up during that time, right? So yeah, we want to be mindful and really recognize that loneliness is there, and the more we work through it and the more we communicate as partners, it can help the mother in order for the kids to also regulate themselves and for the mother to regulate herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That being said, um, so there's something like I talk a lot about with moms is mom guilt. I mean, I was just talking about it today with um,
Tina.
thank you. Sorry, brain fart. Gray matter, right? That's one of those things.
Mm.
um, like it was very, very hard for me to go to the gym while you had the kids because I was worried that you're gonna have a hard time. Luca was gonna have a hard time. Um, and social media is like a beautifully terrible place to be, you know, especially postpartum. You're so vulnerable and you're being fed whatever the algorithm feeds you. And a lot of it is this image to be the perfect mom. It's, oh, here's an activity to do with your kid. Oh, here's what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. And I mean, it doesn't have to come from social media either. It could be from peers and whatnot. And you just got to find what works best for you.
Mm.
And I feel like as moms, we we learn what's best for our kids. You know, my biggest example is the co-sleeping thing. You know, we were brought up and told that co-sleeping is dangerous and you're gonna kill your kid and stuff. And honestly, that was one of the best decisions that we did.
Yeah, but it does happen. A lot of kids do die.
Of course.
Like
But again,
it is a very dangerous thing to do. You have to be very careful.
yeah,
We have the ability to do it because you don't work,
yeah,
right?
yes. But that's
But
what I'm
that's
saying.
not the case for most
You have to
people.
find what works for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know. Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't going to a job and working 12 hours and then coming home and trying to sleep with my kid.
Yeah, you weren't working. You weren't even working 2 hours.
Exactly.
Uh,
But that's what worked for
mm.
us.
Yeah, so it's like when people tell me like, "Oh, how are you sleeping?" I'm sleeping great.
Yeah, I know. That especially like with Ellie, like
Yeah.
you're like I don't know, but
Uh,
Ellie
and
woke
people think
up
I'm joking
and
when I'm saying that. I was
I
like,
was like,
I'm not
no,
joking.
no,
No, we sleep with our kids, and like it's interesting because I don't know any. There's very most people that co-sleep keep it a secret.
yeah. Well,
They
because
don't
it's
they don't
shamed a little bit.
they don't talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
It's not until someone else mentions it or like mentions like around the corner about
Mm,
it, and you're like, oh, you co-sleep, and they're like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. They like they
And
were
it's hit or
people.
miss.
People are like, oh, how are you having sex, or how can you sleep with the leg and the kids like jumping on you or sleeping on top of you, and um, yeah, it's I mean it has its difficulties, but it definitely is not as difficult as you letting your kid cry for hours and hours in the
Getting
crib.
up, putting them back down, putting them
Yeah.
back to sleep. It was.
It seems to me, I mean, again, just because of our circumstances and our lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems nonsensical.
Yeah.
And I guess time will tell, right? Like, this is what I tell people because,
Mm-hmm.
like, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how our kids turn out. Like, are they going to be clingy and anxious attached? Are they going to be, like, or have a really hard time when they're 10 or 12 years old to leave the bedroom?
Mm.
And are we going to be sleeping with them until they're like 20?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. We'll
Mm-hmm.
find out if I mean maybe in the long run this is a mistake, and then we'll be like, all right, oops.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe it won't.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I think Ellie is getting pretty close to the wanting to sleep in her own bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I give her maybe like 3 more years max.
Yeah.
I don't see Ellie sleeping with us at like just because of her personality. I don't see her sleeping with us at 6. I can see her maybe like going to her bed and maybe
Coming
climbing
in, yeah,
into her
late at
bed
night.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
When she does one of those wake ups.
yeah, yeah. I can see that happening, but um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think people have. I mean, obviously, humans have co-slept for a long time. Individuals that are going through financial difficulties that have really small spaces have to co-sleep.
Yeah.
You know, um, but it. I very assertively say it's dangerous because I've had numerous
Yes.
nurses that work in NICUs. Like I had one of the stories like literally like they fell asleep just like you are,
Mm-hmm.
but the mother had like really big breasts,
Mm.
and she suffocated. They fell asleep and the baby fell asleep while they were breastfeeding,
But yeah. Yeah.
and they would obviously that's not co-sleeping necessarily,
That's
but it like
what I was.
it suffocated the kid right in like you didn't
Mm.
she didn't she woke up from the sleep and the baby was blue,
Yeah.
like the baby was already dead,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, and there's like pillows and blankets, and sometimes again parents are very tired and they move to one side. Like I'm never that tired. I also don't move that much.
Mm.
Um,
You're like
and my job is
strangely
not
still.
my job is not a like I have soft hands. Like
Yeah.
I'm not moving brick. I'm not I'm not a plumber. Like I'm literally sitting on a couch or a chair all day talking to people.
Mm.
And if I'm moving around, it's because I'm going to the gym or like doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
So I'm also not that I'm like mentally fatigued, but not like physically fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um. So yeah, and I talked about this earlier. So a mother's, and research says this a lot, and this can create some pressure, but a mother's mental health is going to directly shape the bonding of the kid, right? Like I said it earlier about like attachment issues. This is why when you go to therapy, some therapists like myself will ask you at some point, how was your mom's pregnancy with you? How was like what do you know about postpartum? Like how were you as a baby? Um, because again, the mother's mental health is going to directly affect the baby, right? Um, so what that's not necessarily to shame the mother or to put pressure on the mother, but that's to help you understand that it's very important for you to get the help if you need it,
Yeah.
right? And to understand the science or the literature that's out there in the current moment about ways to alleviate certain presentations or certain things that are going on with you. Is he melting?
He didn't like his legs squished up,
Oh.
so he stretched out.
Mm.
Mental load. Yeah. Different for everyone, right? Obviously, the primary parent tends to have a larger mental load when it comes to the children itself. I can't leave the house without making sure I have 2 changes of clothes, enough diapers, wipes. Do I have snacks? Do I have water? Do I have my keys, my wallet? Where do we have to go? What do I have to pick up for today's dinner, tomorrow's dinner? You know, do you need anything? Did I forget anything? Oh, there's laundry in there. That's tiring. And then you have your own mental load,
Mm.
and it's, you know, I mean, I feel like all my stuff kind of circles back into that sleep deprivation, rest when you can.
I will say though, because you said if I need anything, I don't feel like I put a lot on you.
You don't, but I
Yeah,
worry about you.
sure. Like you don't.
I'm not.
I want to clear the air.
Yeah.
Maybe more for me than for anybody else.
Okay.
You don't do my laundry. You
No.
don't fold it. Matter of fact, I mean, you fold it sometimes. Like,
When I can,
yeah,
if I take it out and I have a
sure.
I
And
have a,
sometimes I turn your
yeah.
like like I put from
I
your
don't
wash
want you
to
to
the
fold my
dryer.
clothes though. I don't like when you fold my
I don't
clothes.
really care about folding clothes, so I just kind of like go tick tick tick. Yeah, like I yeah, it's just not to me. It's just like yeah, obviously, like you help me sometimes, and I
Yeah.
help you, but you don't fold my clothes.
No,
Like
that's not my job.
I don't like you touching my clothes.
Yeah,
And like we basically kind of have separate rooms.
kind of.
Yeah, I have my own bathroom. Like you don't
Yeah.
even clean like you don't clean my bathroom. You literally do not clean my poop
No.
stains or pee or nothing. Like
No.
we don't like the there is that independence that we have in our relationship where yeah, like this technically the room we're in right now is my room.
Mhm.
Like all my clothes is here, everything. Like all my stuff is here. My bathroom is technically the kids' bathroom, but the kids share a bathroom with you,
Yeah.
right? For
Yeah.
now, and then probably homeskillet over here will come to
Being
mine.
Yeah.
So we'll have the pee pee
The
room
men's
and the
room
vagina room,
the peanuts room
the peanuts room,
and the
and
vagina.
the vaginas room. Um, uh, so yeah, and that's part of like what we have to really, or I mention a lot to men is like,
Mhm.
you know, and it's interesting because like sometimes when I say that to them, like, do your own laundry, homie. They like, what's that noise?
Ellie. Ellie.
Oh, she woke up.
Yeah.
And we're back
Yeah.
talking about Mother's Day,
2 wake ups today.
2 wake ups. Um, yeah, most women don't get the help that they are that they need, which is pretty evident by I don't know. I feel like a lot of moms come like way after that they actually need to. It can be hard to go to therapy. I don't think therapy is the only solution, right? To be clear, there's so many different ways that you can help your mental health, and it could literally just be going to the gym,
Going for a walk.
going for a walk, going to the store. Um, Again, if you don't have a community and you just moved, connecting with old friends. I know that that was something that you still did, like
Mhm.
connecting with some of your friends at times. It wasn't too consistent, but you did it.
Yeah.
Um, and knowing that again, understanding what is there access to, who can you go to. Again, I don't believe that therapy is always the solution, but it can be one of the solutions.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's important for you to know that it, you can lean on other people if you need to. Um, so yeah.
I feel like this is kind of a partly you vibe. Um,
Yeah, I don't know why this is on you.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but it's not like
It's more what
fitness.
you talk about.
So yeah, it's talking about just to drop the suspense because obviously we trying to be a little bit more professional, just not just read this. Um, well, we want our kids to learn from us. So basically, like modeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
And
that's a big, I mean, a big part of parenting.
yeah,
What you model is what they're gonna
what they're
learn more
gonna
than what you
learn.
say,
Yeah,
right? Like,
do as I do, not as I say.
yeah, I mean, if you look at Ellie, a lot of her mannerisms and things that she says are things that we say.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's interesting because like if I see something in Ellie that I'm like, oh, we need to work on that. It's
It's
not.
really us.
It's really us. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
feel like, oh man, we're messing up.
yeah,
Like, you know, I don't see it as like, oh, it's her. Um, it's like, okay, how do we fix that?
yeah.
Usually something that we're doing, you know.
And it's funny. We've said that before. We've had kids. We've said that the kid's not the issue. It's something the
Yeah,
parents don't.
yeah. I mean, if you see a kid misbehaving constantly, it's like, yeah, clearly the kid is presenting the behavior, but didn't get there accidentally.
Yeah, it's a symptom, not the problem, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, what does support actually look like? I think that, like I said before, and I'll say it again, like support doesn't necessarily mean just paying the bills, right? It doesn't mean just going to work and coming back. And I think a lot of, is she up again?
No, he's not.
Uh, I think a lot of men have this misconception that just because they bring in the dollar sign, that's it. Um, and again, it doesn't have to always be men. Maybe there's a stay-at-home father that feels this way, and the
Mm-hmm.
female has to be the one that supports more. But it's Mother's Day, and we're talking about mothers. Support can be different. There's just different things. Like there's certain things that I can't talk to you about, and I don't want to hear about it.
Yep.
That like you need other moms to talk about. Um, and I can't. So I know that I can't support you in that way. And for me, I would advocate that that's supporting you is letting you know what I can't support you in.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it, yeah.
Um, and trying to do a little bit here and there. I don't always do it as much as I could because sometimes I am just tired.
Mm.
Um, but just being able to, she up again? Being able to understand that maybe she's not just tired like the mother. There can be something else there. Paying attention. One of the things that I try to do is like get you guys out of the house. You
Yeah.
know, um, again, it's not always feasible for a lot of people. It can get expensive. Sometimes it's not feasible for us. um,
Yeah, but
but
even those days where you just go for a long walk.
yeah, yeah, but it's why we try to do like weekends here or weekend there, or like try to
Mm.
do like little trips here and there, which I think help.
Yeah.
Right? And it helps Ellie, it helps all of us kind of like not be in these four walls all the time because
Yeah.
that can be it can start feeling like COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Parenting myths we're not buying. Some of these are my favorites. I'm going to start with my favorite one. Dads are babysitting. I was like, oh, you're, you're giving mom a break. I was like, no, you're doing your job.
Mm,
You're a parent too.
mm,
Um, another one. You have to love every second. Being a mom is hard. Being a mom is challenging. Not every second is roses and sunshine and rainbows, and that's okay. And you're allowed to get upset. You're allowed to have moments of like, this sucks. But remember, they're just moments. The big picture, I wouldn't change anything about having the kids. But yeah, sometimes you have little bits of this sucks.
mm,
Um, and then moms instinctively know what to do. I don't think it's so much instinct. I think it's learning. Um, Especially like with your first, I kind of thought I knew how to be a mom, and I learned how to be a mom.